Let's get started. All right. So let's quickly recap what all the things we have seen yesterday. Okay. On Friday and the previous session, we were seeing about the important concept of objects, and then we were seeing the properties and then functions, and how to use get hyphen member to explore it. Right. Now, since we know PowerShell is completely based on objects, and everything in PowerShell is an object. Now we are gonna see how we can take each and every objects, and then how we can manipulate them, and then how we can use it for our day-to-day life, all those things, right? So we know that in a concept wise. Now how we can use it in our day-to-day life, let's say to measure number of things, let's say number of files and file size, or count a number, or check the RAM or CPU, all those things, and sorting, all those things can be done using the objects. So now today, before we proceed further with the objects, let's see about the object collections. So what is object collections is, let's say, let me open the PowerShell. So I'm typing get hyphen, let's see, 1 second. I'm just trying to check what is the command for scheduler to get the scheduler. Okay. Okay, I think this would work. Let me check get hyphen schedule task. Okay, now this is a new command we are trying. Again, if you remember, if you see, I'm not remembering the schedule command. What I'm doing is I know the schedule something. So what I do is I just use the schedule, and then from there I'm checking whether the command is there or not. Now I know, okay, this looks like the command. So for an example, let's say I go to task scheduler, right? Here we see all the tasks. So this is what the command will be doing. So I'm executing here and hit enter, and you see all these commands. Let's say Adobe, all those things here, right? So it's coming directly from the live task scheduler. Now, since we are keep on seeing about get hyphen service, get hyphen process, I thought of introducing new commands so that it will be a different flavor, and then we can try things. So coming back to the original topic, we are talking about that, objects, and then objects collection. Now, what does that object collections means? Let's say here, as I said, each and everything here, Adobe task is one object, and this one is another object. Everything, CC Cleaner, Google, everything is an object. And when I type get hyphen schedule task, I'm getting a bunch of objects, everything, okay, as let's say as a object collection, right? It is not one object, it is an object collection. Now I wanted to actually see one by one, or handle one by one. So why would I handle one by one? Let's say I have a let's say I have all these task scheduler, and I wanted to do a particular check or particular task in each and everything. Okay, each and every task. Let's say what it can be. Let's say I wanted to check the status whether it is ready or not. So that kind of thing, or I wanted to check or some kind of operation with these things. So basically, what I would be doing, let's say I have object collection. Let's say this one, task one, task task 2, task 3, everything, right? So when I type get hyphen scheduled task, I'll be getting this object collection which will have all these things. Now I wanted to do some kind of let's say an operation. It can be a set operation or get operation or a remove operation or anything. So you remember we were seeing about CURD, right? Which is create, update, read, and delete. So this is the first thing. So I'm getting all these things, and I wanted to do some kind of operation to all of them one by one, right? So how do we do that? Last time we were seeing about the pipeline, right? So let's try to, let's say I wanted to get all the objects, and then I wanted to get only their names. Instead of I get all, let's say I type here and I hit enter, right? You see all of them. When I say all of them, I'm getting task path, task name, and state. So in spite of that, I only need the task name from this complete object collection. I don't need everything else. Only I just need the task name. So how would I do that? Let's try this. And I'm piping this, okay? And now this is the command I ran, okay? And you remember in the QA session we were seeing about the format list. We'll be seeing this in the upcoming in today's session itself. Before that, now what is happening is all these things. I mean, the get hyphen schedule will be returning, let's say dot count. It's returning 136 objects. And what this pipeline will do is it will take one by one, and then it will be getting this name and then displaying it for me. So in spite of name star name, let's use task name, I guess, right? Now going back to Excel, so everything is there. I want to do a particular thing. Now here I'm adding the pipeline symbol, right? So when I add the pipeline symbol, the object collection will be sent to the pipeline one by one, and all the operations will be done here. So if it is a bit confusing, before we see that, let's see a general example of our school days. In our schools, let's say we will be having the lab, right? Let's say a chemistry lab sort of thing, and then let's say in this image, right, very similar to this. Let us say we are adding this one here, right? We are putting some some kind of chemical here, and then adding, and then you see a pipe goes here, and then we'll be doing some other operation, and then it will go here, and then it will be get heated, and then it might evaporate and then come here. It might get cold, and then do some, add some other sugar or salt, or chemical salt, those kind of things, and then it will go filter something, and then finally it will be we'll be getting some kind of output what we expect. Now if you see all these containers, right, imagine all these containers are an operation sort of thing, and then you see what is exactly connecting all of them is a pipe, right? In other words, a pipeline taking some inputs from here, piping it to here, and then taking again from inputs from here, piping to some other else, doing some another operation, and then go here, and then it goes on, keeps on going till we get the result, right? So this is something we have seen in our school days itself, and if you are in a chemistry major, you might also experience in real time how you should, I mean, this will be actually done, right? So what this pipeline does here is connecting two things, right? That's the exact thing the pipeline will be doing here in the PowerShell as well. Okay, so that is the power, the power of pipeline. So let's say I wanted to get something, okay, and then I wanted to pipe it, and then I wanted to set something, okay. So let us say it can be anything. Just let me get hyphen. Okay. Now let's say there is something called task, right? So this is running currently. Now what I wanted to do is I want to take this particular one, okay, and then since it is running, I'm just trying to gonna stop it. Okay, let's try that first. So get hyphen schedule task, and then the status is running. Now I'm gonna now it is very similar to whatever the example I given, right? So I'm taking something here, okay, I'm piping it here, right, and then I'm doing some other operation, okay, and then again I can pipeline again, okay, and then I can get the same thing or do some other operation. I just want to check what is the status, okay, again of that once it is completed. Okay, so what I'm doing is it's kind of connecting this command to this command and taking this command and then connecting to this command. Now for the second command, the input is coming from the first command. Okay, whatever the output coming from the output coming from the first command will be passed to the second command through this pipeline. The same thing will be done here, and then it can be, you can keep on going and till it makes sense. Okay, you cannot just keep on add a lot of things. You're just using the pipeline, okay, pipeline symbol, unless until it doesn't make sense, okay, it is not going to work. Now it makes sense. I'm getting something called cache task, and I know the status is running already. I wanted to stop it, and then once I stopped, it will not give any result, right? So I wanted to stop, and again I want to get the result whether it is running or not. So uh, do you get what we are trying to do with this? So that's a basic thing. So whenever pipeline, you just imagine something very similar to this one, this lab, okay, and then taking something from somewhere and then inputting to some other place, and then again taking there and then giving to some other place. So take input and give it as an output, and then that output will be processed somewhere else. It will keep on going, and it should make sense, then only it will work. Let's try this whether it works or not. Okay, now let me check whether it is. Now it's not running, okay, and then it is ready. And the reason why we are not getting here anything is, okay, I'm just hitting enter, okay, we are not getting anything as an output, right? Okay, in other words, this is not this complete things, okay, this complete operation is not resulting any object, true or false or anything. In other, let's say here, if I type here, it's gonna give me lot of things. I mean, whatever this object, this one object, right? So stop schedule, the second command have some object to process. So that is why it's able to do some schedule task, and it is stopping it, and then In other words, if it is empty, now stop is done and it is not going to return anything. So when something is not returning anything, the output is empty. So means this will not get anything. Okay. Okay. Yeah. To It might be a little bit confusing. I'll just again clarify. First thing, this one. Let's count this. Okay. This is the number of objects. You are getting one object, right? Now, when I stop this, or let's say now let's start the scheduled task. Okay. And now the output will be 0. I mean, because it is running successfully, it will not return anything as an object at the end. So after this, after start or stop schedule, okay, there is nothing returned as an object. So whatever we do after that, it will not make sense. That is why I said, even though we can keep on connect with a lot of things, unless until it is returning some object, it will not work, and it should make sense as well. Okay. So that is how we connect commands. And object collection is nothing but all these things we have, right? It is returning all these objects as a collection, and then we are actually seeing them as a collection, and then we are taking it one by one, and we can do some kind of operation. Now I want to check, okay, what all the let's say it's running, right? What all things running. State is running. Okay, let's go to this dollar underscore dot. This is very important. Okay, so pay close attention. You might have seen this dollar and dollar underscore dot in lot of PowerShell scripts. Okay, now we are going to see what is this exactly and how we are going to use. Now, first of all, what is dollar underscore dot is plainly means current object. Okay, whatever the object, okay, we are handling currently, that is what it means. Dollar underscore dot means current object. So what I mean by that, get hyphen scheduled task will be returning, let's say 143 objects. Okay, now when I pipe here, it will not give all this 143 objects at one single instance. Okay, it will give one by one. Okay, like first, let's say it's kind of in the let's say in car manufacturing or any kind of manufacturing, where it will be going like this, right? Like a belt or a Coca-Cola or any kind of thing will be manufactured. First, something will be happening here, and then it will go here, and then it will be happening here. Something will be added to that, and then it will be going. Somebody will be, putting a sticker to that. Those kind of thing will be happening, right? So here, this dollar underscore dot is kind of this one object. Okay, and let's say here we have a big container where all the bottles are getting manufactured. Okay, even though we have thousands of bottles are getting manufactured, when it comes to this belt, okay, it will be sent one by one, right? You might have seen this, let's say, okay, here. See here, okay, this will be typical, right? So it's getting lot of bottles will be, a lot of Coke will be, manufactured in a huge container. But when it comes to, to the manufacturing lab, or in that particular order, it will be sent one by one bottle. Like the bottle will be first coming and then filled, and then the cap will be connected, and then it will be sealed, and then all those things. So the point is, you see, everything will be one by one object, and everything, even though it's a huge lab, even though it is a huge manufacturing thing, everything will be done one by one. So that is exactly we are talking here. Even though get hyphen schedule task gonna return all these things objects as one single collection, object collection. Let's say it's a collection. Okay, but when we pipe, okay, when we pipe it to this any, I mean pipe it to anything, it will be taken one by one. How we are, you know, these bottles are taken one by one. All these things will be taken one by one, and it will be processed. So let's say get hyphen schedule task is giving 143 or 147 number of scheduled task. We want to do some kind of check. What is the check? Let's say again where hyphen object, okay, dollar underscore dot. This is something I just mentioned, right? Dollar underscore dot is nothing but your current object. What is the current object? The one what we are currently handling. One by one we are saying, right? So in this example, let's say we are sending all these Coke bottles. This will be, let's say this will be processed first, and when this particular bottle is getting processed, that is the current object. Once this is done, the second bottle will be processed. So at that point of time, this will be a current object. Similarly, all these 143 will be processed one by one. So to mention what is the current object is getting processed, we will be using this. Okay. Now let's say dollar underscore dot. Okay, let's try this. Where hyphen object, as I said, where will be actually filtering it. Okay, dollar underscore dot, and state is equals running, and we'll be closing. We'll be seeing this where hyphen object and how it works, everything. Currently, as of now, just focus on this one. The focus is we are getting bunch of collections and we are handling one by one and checking whether it is running or not, and then we will be displaying it. Okay, let's try to hit enter. You see, it's returning what all objects or what all the task state, which is this one is running. It is returning only this one. Similarly, let's say instead of running, let's say ready, and hit enter. We'll be getting all the task. Okay, it will take one by one. It will check the status, and if it is ready, it will display here. And then go to the next one. It will check the status. If it is ready, it will display here. So that is what this dollar underscore dot is means, and this will be coming all the way long wherever you are using PowerShell. Whenever we are handling any objects, multiple objects, it will be used when you are handling multiple files, when you are doing the CSV, or importing CSV, and then let's say you are doing inventory, all those things, right? Whenever you are handling more than one object or one PowerShell object, this will be used. And whenever we are whenever you are seeing this dollar underscore dot, all you need to remember is that means the current object. Okay, and so current object, whatever the object collection is returning, if we are piping it, it will be going here, and then it will be current object. So that is the object collection and dollar underscore dot. This is very, very important. We will be using this in lot of scenarios. As of now, this is the only takeaway. Now we have seen about the pipeline. So what this pipeline will be doing, as I said, all this object collection will be there. Consider this pipeline as it will be taking all the object collection, let's say, and then it will be processing one by one. That's the exact task of the pipeline. Okay, so whenever we are getting something, this is, and then piping it using the pipe symbol, it will take all the objects, okay, and then it will send it to the next command, whatever the command, one by one, okay, not everything at the same time, one by one, so that the next task will be done. So here we have seen, right, in the history. So here what is happening, we are getting this object collection, okay, taking all these collections and then piping it and then processing one by one. It means, let's say it's returning 145 or any kind of thing, this pipeline will process one, take the first one, check whether it is ready or whatever it is, okay, we can do anything here, but as of now only focus on this one, okay. It will check that and then go to the next one and then next one and next one. So that is what it's all about, the pipeline, okay. Now imagine we have a power of having lot of objects, okay. Let's say anything, lots of objects, and then we have a pipeline symbol which will be taking it one by one and then process it one by one, okay. Now we can do lot of things, okay. Let's say we can count what are all the number of objects here, and then we can measure what, let's say if we are talking about the process, we can measure how many processes are there, what is the CPU utilization, all those things. And if it is number of users, we can check whether their names or, in other words, we can take all these things, and then since we have this power of pipeline, and take one by one, inspect that with with whatever the filter we want to apply. We can sort it, we can select it, or anything can be done, because the power we have to take the object collection and then piping them to one by one. Now let's see one by one what all the things can be done using this pipe symbol and how powerful it's going to get now, okay. Now first thing is, let's let's talk about the output formats, okay. Formats, when I say, I'm typing again get hyphen scheduled task and I'm just hitting enter. What is happening is PowerShell decides itself, okay, and then since we are in a console, it cannot return all the object related information for me, because it will be overwhelming and even the screen will not be allowing to display, and you cannot also usefully use that. So what is happening is it's taking only few of them, okay, task path, task name, and state. This is kind of predefined, okay. PowerShell decides what's to show and what's to not to show. Maximum it will be only showing 3, okay. Now I want you to focus on this, how it is actually getting displayed. Do you see this is kind of a table sort of thing? Let's say we just copy this and then let's try whether it's pasting in the same way. Yeah, here you see, imagine this task name is one column, task path is one column, task name is another column, and the state is another column. So you see the exact kind of the format here, right? It's a kind of table format, right? Table which has the rows one by one, and then the column, which is the column name is task path, task name, and the state. So by default, PowerShell is going to return everything in a table format, right? The output, what I'm talking is, first thing is, by default, PowerShell outputs everything in table format. So when I say table format, I just shown you, right? It will have rows and columns. Now, what if I don't want that in, let's say, in this kind of table format, and then I want it in a different formats? Okay, let's see what all the formats we can be seeing. I'm piping again. Whenever we are piping, imagine we are taking lot of objects and handling one by one. This is the only thing you have to always remember. Okay, take lot of objects and then handle one by one. Now we are taking it, and then what I'm doing is format hyphen list. Previously we are talking about the table. Now I don't want in the table sort of thing, and then I wanted to list, like whenever we say list, how a list will be having one after another, right? Instead of in a format, let's say there is a result or any kind of let's say only one information after one information will be coming, right? That is the list, right? Let's say here, instead of I have multiple column, if I just have object 1 and then object 2 and then object 3, object 4, and one by one, okay? In spite of I have all of them in a table format, this is the list, right? One by one. So we are going to do that, and then how we are going to do it? Just do format hyphen list. Hit enter. Now let it stop. I'll show you. Okay. Now you see, let's take one thing. Okay. Okay. Here, take from here till description. Okay, you see this documentation, and this is the second object. Okay, documentation, principal, principal, and then security descriptor, all these things. Okay, so what is happening is it's taking all the objects, and then it's listing them one by one. Okay, and it's listing more information as well. Initially we were seeing only the task name and then state and task path. Only these three information were given. Now I'm seeing lot of information. Let's say documentation and what is the source, what is the URI version, all of these things. So when this will be used, first of all, format list we will be using. So when the format will be list will be using, you want to see all of them in the list form. Okay, that's obvious. And then second thing, the practical thing is you want to see more information, okay, than what you see in the table. In the table, we will be seeing only 3 columns, right? Here, we will be seeing as much as possible lot of information about the same object. So most of the time, whenever the reason we use format list is to see more information about that, the objects in the table format, so that uh, the problem is when we are displaying in, let's say, in the table format, you will be, since the width of this console is very limited, you cannot show a lot of things. But when you are showing this as a, instead of a table, when you are showing as a list, since it will be keep on running, you will be seeing a lot of things. So that's the whole point whenever you are using format list. Now I said format list, right? So what another command is format table. Okay, I hit enter, and you see this gives the exact default information: task path, task name, and state. So format table, as I said, table format is the default one, and but if you wanted to explicitly call it for some reason, I'll show you the reason. Okay, this is the default one, and this will be actually giving in the table format. So why we will be using, when it is actually by default it is giving a format table, why should we use this? Now let's say get hyphen scheduled task, and I'm using get-member because I want to get few information about this particular object, and I could see a lot of properties, and I'm interested in few things, okay, which let's say the task name, comma, uh, what is the description, and then what is the state, and I'm only seeing the property. I'm not doing anything with the method or anything. I'm just going to list only the some properties that I wanted. Okay. Uh, Now I also wanted the date when it was created or when it ran last time, and let's say I also want the source from where it is coming from. Now I need not only three info, I mean, instead of default three information, I need a custom, okay, custom table format and custom information in a table format. Now what I'm going to do is I just copy it and then format table. This one will be giving only the task path, task name, state, which is not in my control. Now I'm gonna press up arrow and then hit enter. I whatever I just copied, right? That from the object exploring the object by get-member, from the property I fetched the exact name of the task name, description, all those things, and then I hit enter. Okay. Now I scroll up. You see that task name, description, and the other three are not showing, right? Correct? Now, my question to you, is there any guess why it's not showing? We are typing 5 information. I want them in the table format, okay? Here, it's able to show 3, okay? But here, I'm just getting only 2 information. Is there? Okay, we actually, okay, first we'll check whether we have the data or not, okay? So how do we check the data? Whenever we need lot of information, then we will be using the format list. Again, from where I'm coming, Roy said data, okay, I want to check whether data is there or not, okay. This is the practical use, okay. When I want to check whether that particular data is there or not, I'll be using the format list. I hit enter, and I stopped it in middle. I just wanted to show the pointer. So I'm checking the data, task name, description, state, date, source is there. Let's take this one. Task name is there, task, and then description is there, okay, and state is also there, date it's not there. For let's say most of them it's not there, okay, and then source is also not there, okay. Let's take first of all, let's take some instead of wherever the data is not there, okay, we'll just replace the source, and data is not there, right? In spite of that, we'll take author. Okay, I'm just trying to prove another point. Okay, first thing is, yes, there is no data, but that is not the reason why it's not showing. Okay, it's again, one thing is the screen resolution, another thing is the screen width, another now I don't want to worry about the screen resolution. Still I want to fit whatever the size of the screen. I want to fit this information and then show. So this is important. I add hyphen auto size. What this will do, whatever the information is there, it will make it adjust according to my screen, and it will give it to me. Let me see whether it's happening or not. it's still happening, okay? And the thing is, you will not be seeing on the, I mean, we have to actually scroll it to the right side. Okay, let's to prove that. Okay, now we are getting little bit near, because again, description is very long to auto size, so it is having difficulty. Since the state and author is okay, it is we are getting still the URI is on the right side. I'm still not able to see it. So it's again related to your screen resolution, as well as what is the length of the information what we are getting. Okay, the auto size will try to give as much as information possible in your screen. In some cases, it will actually give all of them. So if you are using this, it will try to give as much as information possible in the screen itself, and then you don't have to scroll. Let me try to scroll. Okay, so I'm copying this, and then I'm pasting so that you can try this. So we have seen what is auto size, and the reason why we are again using the format table, even though format table is the default one. First reason is I want the custom data, okay, or custom property, and then I want them in the table format. Okay, so instead of it's giving the default one, I want the custom property, and then I want them in the table format. Then we'll be using this to use the auto size. I'll be auto size to fit into the screen as much as possible. Okay, so that is why we will be using format table. Okay, okay, now let's say I'm not interested in okay, let's say I want to only see whether how many scheduled tasks are ready or not. Okay, just that, only that information. I don't need anything at all. Okay, how would I do that? Only one information. Okay, I don't worry about anything at all. Let's say whether it's in the list format or anything, I just wanted to see them one thing. Okay, or one or two things, just not in table format or in list format. It's called width format hyphen width. Okay, wide, format hyphen wide, let's say called state. Now you could see almost like a paragraph sort of thing. Okay, you see it's not giving anything at all. Okay, it will not give you the column name or anything else. It is something like I quickly want to check some information. Let's say lot of services are running. I want to check all of them. Okay, and then to check whether anything is stopping status or those kind of thing. I don't want to go with the FL or FT to get all the information. I just quickly want to take a quick glance, right? So in that case, we'll be using that format wide, so that we can get some information very quickly and for mostly for quick glance. And this can be also be auto sized, right? You see the auto size is very well actually displayed, and then we know the auto size used very clearly here. In the previous example, since all the information was very huge and then very detailed, we were not able to see the use of auto size. Now here we are able to see it. In the previous one, I have to keep on scroll and then see the information. But when I use the auto size here, I'll be seeing all of them. I can, just in a glance, I could see whether any particular thing is rest. A particular thing I'm just wanted to see. Okay, should I give only one state or anything? Can I add one more? Yes, I can try to add task name and hit enter. Okay. Here. Task name. If you see, I'm adding just one more thing. Okay, state. It will not give you anything because format wide is will be taking only one information, and it's again for a quick glance of one particular information. So you will not be able to use more than one thing, and then to auto size you can auto size if it is available. The reason why it's not auto sizing is this one particular one is almost occupying more than 60%. That's the reason it's not coming in auto size. All right, so that's the point here. Quick glance, only one output. Okay, you can't have more than one output, and you can also auto size. Now we tried auto size in the auto format table as well as format wide. Let's see whether the format list has that option or not. First of all, in a normal sense, do we need in the list, do we need auto size? No, right? Because it is in a list format, it is already in a clean for list. But anyway, let's check whether it is there or not. I'm just typing AU and then press tab and it is not there. So point is the auto size hyphen auto size is only available in table and wide. Okay. Now, other than that, we also have I'm gonna show you get hyphen help and out hyphen. Okay. Here you will be seeing lot of things. Okay, and the first thing. Okay, or as of now, we'll be just seeing this one. Okay, out printer will be actually taking whatever the information I'm giving. Okay, whatever here, right? If I just put it to out printer again, this is not gonna print it in your console. I mean, print in the sense that it is actually gonna take this information and then take it to your printer. Okay, let me hit enter and see what is happening. Did you see that it is going to the printer and then trying to open some whatever is associated to my printer? Since I don't have a printer, it is not doing it. But if you have a printer, okay, let's say printers and scanners, and if I have any physical printer and then if it is made as default, okay, it will be actually whatever this input, it will be going to the printer. That is again one of the formatting and then outputting the information, and we'll be seeing all other out later, but as of now out default and out host, or the both are almost same. Okay, and they are the default one. Out host is whenever we say host, it is the console. So out host will do nothing like just it will just do print it right here. That's the default one. Okay, and Out file, we'll be seeing that from the name itself. I'm sure you will be able to see it is actually gonna put it to a file. Okay, but we have a separate session for that. Just want to show you there are other ways to use the pipeline, and we can also take the output in some other way. Output null is whatever it is output. Let's try this now. You see the output null, whatever it is. Okay, it will be returning null, means whatever happening here. Okay, whatever the result is coming here, it will be stopping. It will not give either error or success or anything. The result will be blank. Roy and Jagdish, do you guess why we should have this out hyphen null in? I mean, it is actually not going to give anything at all, right? Out hyphen null, it makes the output null. Okay, it means nothing will be outputted. What would be the possible reason this command exists? Why, in what scenario we will be using this? There is no get hyphen transcript. There is no get hyphen transcript. Only we can remember it. Okay. Again, these are the commands. Like it doesn't mean every command will have get, set, remove, all those things. Okay. Few commands will not be having get. Okay. Even though it is giving anything at all. Okay. See, the answer is in some cases. Okay, when we are writing a script or anything, we know this is gonna, okay, give some kind of first out null, let's say. We know it's gonna throw error. Okay, but we don't want to show that. Okay, that is one case. And sometimes we want, we will be getting lot of information. Okay, we know that is actually processed, and again, let's say lot of information to be shown, and we don't want to show. Basically, in other simple word, you can say whenever you want to hide the output. Okay, usually where people will be using is, let's say you are going to give a demo to your client or your manager. Okay, some particular line will be actually giving a warning or error. Okay, you don't want that to be happening. Okay, that command will run, but the warning or error should not be displaying in the console. In that case, if you put the out hyphen null at the end of that command, whatever it is, error or success or anything, it will not be giving that. Okay, so basically you want to hide, mostly it will be to hide the error or warning. Okay, so this is when, I mean, most of the people, or even I will be using this when I know somewhere it is gonna give some error. Either I know that I still don't want to see that, so I will be out null it. When I'm gonna give that to a demo to somebody else, I will be doing it. Keep this in mind, because this will actually really help you whenever you are actually showing some real output to your client or somebody. You will be having no idea how to actually to hide that error. You know that error is nothing to do with the output, but for your manager, whoever is seeing that, will be actually seeing you are running, everything is fine, but still we are getting some kind of red color error, right? So it means something wrong. They will not get the idea what you are actually doing. So it's always safe to hide what we know it is safe to hide. So far, what are the things we have covered? dollar underscore dot, just the points. Okay, dollar underscore dot means current object, and then whenever we are pipelining, the pipeline gonna take everything as an object and then gonna process one by one. And we have seen an example, and outputting the formats. We have seen format list, and what is the default format is, which is table. And when we will be actually using the format table, whenever we need some kind of automation, custom properties, hyphen auto size is available for table as well as wide. And it is actually to make it fit to your screen. And out printer will be to taking the information to the printer. Out null will be hiding the output, mostly to the error or the warnings. So that's all for this one. Now let's go to back again. Quickly take a look at this. So the last one, just at least the last one, the pipe command typically follow this pattern: get something and then set something, get something and then filter using where something, select or set. So here the select, we are going to see what is select and then we will be doing it. And these are all basics, like the commands will execute from left to right, the usual way we write in India, right, from the left side to right side. So similarly the things will be getting started executed from the left side, then the right side, and then the right side, and then next. Okay, so it's not the vice versa, or the right to left. Okay. And should there be a space, let's say, should there be a space between these two? Will it make any difference? No. Okay, there is no space required. Okay, just an additional information. Now that's all about the pipeline. And let's see about the sorting and other things of what I said, right? What are the things we can do with these objects, right? Using pipeline. I'll be showing those things one by one. Now let's open. Okay, again we have seen this format list, table and property, wide. And you remember this command, right? Let's say format table, and then we followed by that we are putting a lot of properties, right? So this is hyphen property. Okay, and we don't have to type it manually. Let's say I copy this command. Okay, and paste it, and I put hyphen property and hit enter. You'll be getting the same result. You don't have to mention it, just know all these things. Whatever the property we want, we can extract it as we want. In other words, let's say we have something, all these properties, right? This all can be extracted. Okay, and some are, some data will be empty. Okay, so don't worry about that. We'll be seeing how to extract it. I'll just show you that. Let's go here first, whether we'll check whether the date is there or not. Okay, the created is almost not there. So we have for one. Let's try that. Okay, and let's say I wanted to get format hyphen list. Okay, task name, and just to show the how to use the property. I'm just adding property name and then the date. Now I add hyphen force at the end. Okay. What this will do is it will by default it will try to read it from the normal layer. Okay. The hyphen force is something like it will try to fetch if even if at all it's there in the other. In other words, if it is not showing, you can try this command. Okay. And this is the best thing, the last thing you can try if to display whether the data is coming or not. Okay, now let's say, okay, here we are getting this information, right? Okay, now let's try without force, okay? Synchronization. We're getting for this mobs toast is here. You see, only for this one we have, okay? For the other things we don't have, right? So it is actually trying to get whatever the possible things it is trying to get and then give it to us. So to keep it simple, if we are trying to get some information and it is not working, we can still go ahead and use hyphen force and it will try to go and fetch it for us. And sometimes it will not by default for security purpose or something, it will not be shown by default. When we use hyphen force, it will be shown. We are adding that as well here. Now, sorting and measuring. So why would we sort something and measure something? Let's say an example. Let's say we have 100 computers and then I mean I'm saying a huge example. Okay, this actually happened. uh, this is in a company where I was working. Okay, and this is the problem. Whenever people logging, okay, every Monday, okay, every Monday, whenever people logging from let's say morning 10 to 12, okay, we could see lot of CPU utilization and then lot of LDAP queries in the domain controller. If you don't know what is LDAP and those kind of Active Directory, all those things, don't worry. Basically, whenever on a Monday, only from morning, let's say 10 to 9 or that peak time, right? That time we are getting lot of hike, and then the computer people are having lot. It takes lot of time to people to log in, and then people complaining it takes really 4 to 5 minutes to log in and all those things. Usually it will take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, let's say. It's taking 10 to 15 minutes. So that's a complaint usually getting, and we don't have any idea because it's only happening in 2 hours, and we have nearly in that computer in that it's a huge company. We had lot of domain controllers. So the domain controllers is the place where the authentication will be happening, and then literally, even though we have 100 people, and then everyone are ready at that 2 hours of window, and then try to check what is the process is causing the problem or what is the network is causing the problem. It is practically impossible for us to find what is the reason, right? So this is a scenario. Let's say 100 compute. Let's say 100 domain controllers, and then it's happening only from let's say 9 to 11 a.m. and all the objective here is to find problem here is logging is very slow at that particular time. This is the complaint we are getting. Now we need to find objective here is to solve the problem, but how to solve the problem? First thing is we need to find which process cause the CPU utilization, right? or height, that particular one. So to do this, as I said, even though we have 100 people, 100 domain controllers, even though we have 100 administrator, and then looking in that particular time, particularly on Monday, again, I'm saying, not every day, it is impossible for us to find what is the exact process causing this problem. But this is all easy when I use PowerShell. Okay, what I'm going to do is, what we did is, okay, we wrote a script where we'll be in that particular 9 to 11, we'll be running a script where all these 100 domain controllers will be taken, and then we will be sorting. Let's say first get all the process from, this is the step one, let's say step number 1, step number 2, okay, step number 3, get all the process from all the domain controllers one by one, okay, it will be passed using pipeline again, okay, and then this process or get process from each domain controller, and then we will be sorting all the process using the CPU utilization, okay. Now, this is just 3 lines of code, or let's say 10 lines of code, and within a day we found what is exactly happening. What, in that particular period, what is the huge CPU utilization. Now we found what is the cause, and then we know which process is causing the problem. Now we can go ahead and troubleshoot it. So you see this huge problem, which seems very impossible to solve. I'm sorry. And we are able to use just 4 or 5 lines, and we are able to do it. Here the key is we are able to sort the output using the CPU. So that is the use of sorting or selecting or measuring. So depends on your actual requirement, we will be doing it. Let's try those one by one. Okay. So sorting, from the name itself, sort will actually sort it by, let's say, ascending order or descending order. That is the whole point of sorting something. So what do we want to sort? Let's take the same example, get hyphen process, and then hit enter. We get everything, and what I need is, let's take the same CPU utilization example. I want this particular thing. Here it's randomly giving because it's ordering in the process name. It's sorting in the ABC order, okay, in alphabetical order using the process name. That is not what I want. I wanted this to be sorted CPU utilization. Let's say whether it will work first. Again, I'm just copying this, okay, and then gonna try it, and I'll show you why it will not work. What I'm gonna do is get hyphen, okay. First thing is I'm gonna check whether I'm able to get that particular property alone, okay, whether I'm able to see that particular property. So what I'm doing is get hyphen process, uh, format list, we were seeing, right? And another thing, format list, format table, format wide, all these has an alias, okay. Let's the alias, right? So let's say get hyphen alias, okay, format hyphen, and hit enter. Okay, you see FL, FT, FW. So all these are the alias of the format list for FL, and format table FT, and format wide is FW. What does that mean? Let's say here format list, right? In spite of that, I can just use FL. I usually type it in capital to it looks good, but you can also type it in small letters. So FL is the same report, and FL is format list, FW is format wide. We know it will not give more than one information, so Again, that's the format FW, and FT is format table. That's it. So just want to quickly say that, okay, so that we can start using FL, FT, mostly FL and FT. We very rarely use FW, but just want to, because we are going to use it from now onwards. Now, coming back to get hyphen process, I copied CPU, okay, right? I'm just going to check whether I'm able to get that information. So get hyphen process, the reason why I'm doing everything as if in an approach, in spite of I just directly give you the command, is this is how you will be. Let's say we don't know anything about some part of command. It can be Azure or it can be anything, right? Let's say this is the way you need to, I usually approach, okay? So this is exactly the way you need to also approach, in spite of we have them everything hard and fast. So we should just know how to discover how what we need and keeping the objective, and then we know how to discover that. That is the exact thing what you need to learn. Okay, it's nothing. I mean, it has nothing to do with the trial and error or anything. It's all about discovering the discovering one by one. Now, first thing is I got the CPU. I'm checking whether this is there or not. Okay, for that I'm using FL and then task name and comma and just paste it. I know it is not going to work. Let's try. Okay, now I'm getting an error. Means this is not the property of the get process. Means I should get the exact property name. So what I should do whenever I get, whenever I need an exact property name, what should I do? What is the command I should type? I wanted to see all the properties of this get hyphen process. Get hyphen member. Get hyphen member. Because again, reason is I got this from the initial command. Get hyphen process gave me, and the table gave me this name. I just copied and pasted and then tried this command. It didn't work. It is giving an error. Now I want to see, okay, then what is the exact property name? I just hit enter. Now I'm seeing for CPU. Okay, here we go. Let's try CPU. Okay, CLS. Now we got the exact thing. So what I was what is the mistake I'm doing when I type get hyphen process FL, sorry, get hyphen process, and then I see this as a title. I'm just copying this and then I'm trying to use this directly, this particular whatever the PowerShell is giving, I'm trying to take from this output. But that's a wrong approach. So I used get hyphen member. So I understand CPU is the exact name, not with the S. So I used it, and then now I found using what I should be fetching the information. Now I fetched the information. Now I wanted to actually, the whole aim is I wanted to display all the information and sort it according to the CPU. So let's say sort hyphen object. Again, object is what we are going to play with everything. Select object and then sort object and everything. Okay. Sort hyphen object means get hyphen process will give all the processes, and this pipeline will be sending to the next command one by one, and it is going to sort them using the CPU. Since I also need to know what is that CPU is related to, I mean, what task it's related to, I also getting the task name. Now, let's don't confuse as of now. Let's keep only CPU and hit enter. Okay, now do you see it's actually sorted? Okay, it's not starting the process name acrobot, I mean A, it is starting from S. Actually it is actually changed, and I could see the result, but still it's actually, is it sorting by ascending or descending, right? It's actually sorting, but by default is it sorting by ascending or descending? So ascending. So the lesson here is, first thing, sorting will be actually happening by default in ascending, and to make it descending, you all should mention descending. Okay, and I'm mentioning hyphen descending, and then I'm hitting enter. Now I could see everything is sorted, and I got the highest CPU utilization. I know this Explorer. Now again, let's come back to the same scenario. Now I have 100 computers, and I have 100 domain controllers and 100 process, and it is going to return again. uh, Even though I sorted it, it is going to give all this list, right? But I don't want that. I only need the top one or two, let's say the maximum three, so that I can invest the problem, so that I can focus on these three, because these are the three causing the highest CPU utilization, right? So how should I fetch only these three? That is when the selecting is coming. So what we are going to do, we are going to select from the output. Okay, it's nothing to do with the sort should be followed by select, or select should be followed by sort. In this scenario we are using it. Okay, I'll show you how to use a select without sorting as well. Now going with the flow, in the same scenario I just need the top three one. Okay, let's say I'm getting the descending, and then select hyphen object. Okay, here hyphen first. Okay, what I'm doing is hyphen first is a keyword, means what all the from the top, what all the first three objects, or three objects, or in this case three process only. I need all these three. I'm hitting enter, and then I'm getting the top three process, which is actually high CPU utilization. And then if I run it for the 100 computers, I got them all, and by checking them, if I see there is one particular command is causing, and I mean we are trying to solve this particular problem, right? So now I got the top three, and using this I can troubleshoot further. Now you see how powerful just these three commands can help an administrator life, and in it actually used in our real-time world, real-time scenario, to troubleshoot huge problems. Now coming back to basics, okay, let's break it one by one. What are the things we can do? Okay, let's we have resolved this problem. Let's forget that, and then let's go one by one. First thing is, let's take the select object. Select object is gonna, whatever here, it's gonna be take this complete list of objects, and then it is gonna select either we can get the first one, okay, or first three, or first 10, anything, any number, whatever you are putting, it will be giving the first 10 or all those things. So that's the first thing command you will be actually running to get the first 10 or first three, all those things. So obviously when we have first, we also have last, right? Do we have last hyphen last? Yes, last means, let's say, what is the least CPU utilization or anything. Okay, here we are, we will be seeing it is not sorting anything. You see, we are not actually sorting anything. We just getting the process, and then we are selecting the object only based on the default output. And I'm selecting the last one object. This is the last one. The last is zoom. Reason is, by default, when I type get hyphen process, it will be sorted using the process name. Obviously, is that the alphabet, the last one. So that's what I'm getting as the last one. Okay. Now we can also get the last two or less three or any number you want. Okay. So that is the second thing. Now let's say we want unique thing. Okay, let's say we have all the in process we will be having lot of unique things. Let's say we have an event viewer, right? Let's say the real event viewer. Okay, and here we have application log and security log. And what I want to do is I want to get is there any let's say for in the this is a server. Imagine this is a server. Okay, uh, first this is server, and event log is getting actually stored and deleted every day. Okay, and what I wanted to do is let's say today something has happened and something went wrong. Okay, went wrong. My objective is there any unique event ID? Okay, happened today. Okay, happened today is something we know, because I mean today we are not going to mention. Just I want to take, is there anything unusual happened in this in the event viewer? I want to see that. I mean, is it easy for us to find it using manually doing that? It's going to be very tough, right? So in these kind of scenarios, again, this is again a real-time scenario, but I'm just connecting so that you can use in the right places. So I need the unique thing. So let's say get hyphen event viewer. Event log is the command. Okay, and event log needs an additional parameter, because events, there are a lot of events, application, security, setup, all those things, right? So let's say application hyphen log name is application. Okay, and if I hit enter, it will give all the application. And instead of application, if I type system, it will give all the system related, and so on and so forth. Okay, whatever the log names you have, you can type. You can also setup is not there. Okay, we need a different name. As of now, we'll just go with application and system. That will be in all the machines. So let's go with the application. Okay. Now, again, coming back to my thing, I want to select what is the unique object here. And here, even though I type object, I know I'm talking about the event log. So unique, and hit enter. It's going to take long time because there are a lot of logs will be there, right? So now we got one unique thing. Okay, this is the one unique. I mean, luckily I got it. Okay, it's not necessarily mean you will be getting it. If it is, there is nothing unique, you will be actually getting no output at all. Okay, but you get the point, right? Okay, so that is, so here we learned what is the command for event log, and then we also learned how to actually get the unique things. Okay, this will be mostly used whenever something you wanted, I mean, mostly in the event log or anything you wanted to get with a file name, unique file name, or unique exe file or unique extension, those kind of things you will be using it. So other than that, what are all the other things we'll be doing? here, let's say get event log. By default it is giving index, time, entry type, source, instance, and message. Let's say I want something more than that, okay, and I'm just typing get hyphen member. I want to see what all the other properties are there. Log name is application and hit enter. Okay, here I see category, container, data, index, machine name, site. Okay, let's try that. Okay, you see here I don't have the site, okay, and I know that site is here, okay, and also what I need, okay, let's say the time generated also I need, okay, or let's say time generated will make more sense. So let's say I want only the event ID and time generated. I don't want all these things, okay, all these things, and then only I need two properties. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this event ID and paste it here, comma, and then what I need, I also need the time generated. So these are the two information, or let's say we also need the message. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is select hyphen object hyphen property and I paste here. Event ID, message, time generated. I hit enter and I scroll to the top. You see event ID, message, and time generated is on the right side. I think let's try whether it's coming. Okay, so we know the problem, right? Because this is so, I mean, it's actually occupying 90% of the screen, so we are not able to use the see the time generated. Let me delete this and hit enter. Now we see the event ID as well as time generated. So the whole point is if I type only this, okay, I'll be getting whatever it returns, okay. When I wanted to customize and get something, what particular thing, then I will be using select hyphen object, and here we tried get hyphen event logs, this one, okay. And if you keep on observing keenly, every now and then I'm using get hyphen member. That's the reason I'm saying that is the real key to explore any object. And if you're getting very familiar at that and how to actually use it and then how to fetch the information, you'll be actually using more. So we have seen a lot of select object, and there are other things as well, okay. And okay, that should be enough as of now for the select. And then let's go to the sort. Let's say I'm going to select the object, okay, and then and I'm going to select the event logs, and then I'm going to select only time generated, and then I'm going to sort hyphen object and hit enter. What it will be doing, it will be taking the information and then it will be, as per the time, it will be sorting it and then it will be giving. If I need it by default, it will be ascending, and if I need that descending, stopping it. Let's say 10, I mean 6, 15, 90, and then it is keep on going to the past. Let's say I don't want that, and then I want to make it as from past to present descending. I hit enter. I'll just show you the example so that it will not take much time. Here you see, right, from okay, here now from 6 to 7 it's going, okay. And then the time will also be changing from 15:07 to 33, so descending order it is coming. So that's the command to descending and ascending after selecting a particular object, and then we can sort it accordingly. Okay, now you see this here, get hyphen event log, and I'm applying log application, and I'm selecting time generated, okay, and then I'm actually sorting it using the according to the time generated. What if I can skip this complete command and I can mention that property here itself, okay, in the properties, I mean in the sort object itself, or what is the property I want this to be sorted, and then I hit enter. You'll be seeing all the details, but it will be sorted using the time generated, okay. So I can mention using what exactly it can be sorted and should be sorted. And if I, let's say here, you just remember October 3rd it's starting, okay. Let's change it generated, and then let's change it to descending and hit enter. I stopped it. Now October 12, which is today. So that is the thing. It is actually using this property time generated. It's descending or ascending. So there is no need of, I mean, there will be sometimes you need to do it, but you can also do it directly from the sort object using the property hyphen property, okay. So I'm just pasting it here. You can try it in your home as well, okay. Descending is only when you want to descend. If you just remove it, by default it will be ascending. And the other things, as of now, you don't have to worry, okay. That is all about sorting. Okay, the last one is where object. Very, very, very important, okay. You can call this as a filter, okay. Yesterday I think Roy or somebody asked, right, what is the grep command? If you don't, I mean, it is a Unix command, okay. It will be actually filtering whatever the output. Again, now you could see all these things are actually filtering. If you see, let's say whenever we are piping something, format list, this is not filtering anything, but here select object is filtering and giving only the first 10. Select last one is filtering and giving me only the last one, and then hyphen unique giving filtering everything and giving the only the unique one. So actually filtering everything. So where object is a proper filter to use some particular property or some particular condition, and then we can actually filter it using that. Let's take some other thing. Where hyphen object, right? Okay, let's say dir. Okay, we have this. Let's say we go to CT Windows. Okay, dir will be lot of files, okay, and the dir, as I said, it's an alias, right? Get hyphen alias dir is get hyphen child item. So this is the get hyphen child item. You'll get all the files and folders in your particular folder. So I mean current folder. Let's try this. Let's again give me the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use where object. Okay. Before that, again, before I do anything, I'm going to use get hyphen member so that I can see what all the properties I can play with. Okay. What are all the properties I have? I have attributes, creation, time, directory, exist, full name, is read only or not, all those things. Okay. Now let's say the name. Okay. Name is something, a property. Okay. Uh, I wanted to, where is again for filtering. Okay. I know there is a property called name. What I'm going to do is where hyphen object. Okay, this is the format. Format is object collection, whatever it can be, and pipe it and where hyphen object. Okay, and it will be starting with the curly braces and ending with the curly braces. Within that we will be having a condition, and how the condition will be, let's say it will be in the format of let's say dollar dot underscore. You remember this dollar dot underscore is something here we see, right? Current object, that's the one. Okay, if dollar underscore dot followed by the property. Okay, the property is the one we just copied, right? The property name. Okay, here there will be an operator. Operator is nothing but who's an operator? Let's say uh, I mean, so simply, let's say we want to add something, or you wanted to compare two things, or you want to check whether they both are equal, all those things, right? So in that cases, we'll be using some keywords. Okay, we'll be seeing and what is operator in upcoming session. As of now, you can just consider hyphen EQ is an operator. Okay, or you can just, since we are just generalizing this, dollar underscore dot property name, and then there will be an operator followed by, this can be a comparison operator as well. We can call it as a comparison operator followed by whatever the condition. Okay, let's say equals to, or those kind of thing. Let me again change it with an example where hyphen property. Here we know this property name, I already got it from here. This is the name. And comparison operator, there are a lot of things, but as of now I'll just make it as like or equal. Okay, and here I'm going to make it anything as exe, and let's try that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm checking, is there anything with the name which has exe. If you see, I'm not putting a, I'm just adding wild character. So if at all exe is there, it will be just fetching and giving. Okay, there is nothing else with, yeah, I mean has a, let's say sys. Let's first check what are the names we have. S. Okay, let's see. Starts with S. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So I use hyphen like. It's very similar to the comparison operator. Okay. What is happening is if the name is starting with S, and it is like is nothing but similar to S or starting with S, it will be giving the output. So if you see everything starting with S, I'm getting this as an output. So what I'm doing is I'm getting everything, all the objects, and then I'm filtering it using this particular condition. Okay, this is my custom condition, and this is my operator, and this name I got it from the get hyphen member. Let's say what else I can do. Let me try this dot. Okay, now I tried. I'll just copy and paste so that you can try in your lab. I also tried .log, means it will be getting all the file ends with log. And now let us go back to our own get hyphen member so that we can see what all the other things we can do with this. Okay, full name is read only. Let's take this. I don't want you to confuse a lot because we haven't seen a lot about operator. So when I say operator, this one, this like and equals, all those things we haven't seen, right? So as of now, where hyphen object is this is the this one, and when we are seeing this operator, we will see more examples. Okay, so again, where hyphen object will be taking some object collection. This is the pipe symbol takes one by one, and it will check whether this condition is met. If it is true, okay, only if the condition is true, okay, then returns the object. If it is false, it will not return. What does that mean? If I say start.log log, the name is like log, then if it is true, it will be displaying. Then that is the reason I'm getting the any file starting with, I mean, ending with log. Okay, if it is false, it will not return that. So that's why I'm getting only this. So this is filtering all these log files, log files. So that is the thing. And so we now know dollar underscore dot and then piping symbol, and what exactly it does, it takes everything, process one by one, and then we have seen the formats, format list, format table, and all those things. I also said there is an alias, I will be adding it here. Every alias is like ft, fl, fw, okay. And similarly, I mean, I don't, here you can use it, but here there is also let's say all these have an alias. Okay, alias is select and sort. Okay, but don't use it. Okay, I don't not recommend it, because if you use that, you will start forgetting that we are handling with the object. Okay, so always use object till you know unconsciously know we are completely dealing with objects. Okay, so here also alias is where. I'll just quickly prove that. Let's take this. I'm sorry. I paste. You got the same result, and select object. That's the same result. Okay. So same thing for sort as well. Okay. Let's say sorting, right? Um, let's do the get hyphen process and pipe it sort hyphen object, and then property is CPU, and hit enter. Okay, it's actually sorting with the CPU, and then I just pressed Control C, it stopped. So this is sort object, and then I'm going to remove this object and then hit enter, and I'm getting the same result. So similarly, where this is the one, right? So hit enter and remove where, that's the same result. So that's all for today. So we have covered very important things here. If you ask me what are the things we'll be using frequently, the important concept is dollar underscore dot is this one, and pipeline concept, and FLFD will be using very useful whenever you wanted to see more information. Practically, you will not be using format table and format wide, so don't worry if you don't use this very often. Even out hyphen printer, you will not be using out other things, out hyphen null, all those things. Okay. Um, but just know there is out hyphen printer, out hyphen null. Okay. Out hyphen null, as I said, to actually to hide anything or error or warning, and we can sort and then select, and then all those things can be done. In upcoming thing, we'll also see measuring. Okay, like take some objects, we can measure. Let's say uh, we have all the CPU, put all, or let's say we have in my computer I have some 5 drives. I can take all the drives, add all of them, and I can come what is the complete hard disk free space, or the used space, all those things can be measured. That we will be seeing in upcoming session. So selecting and sorting, similarly we will be having measuring as well. Where is something where will be used to filter using some condition. It can be equals or like, or sometimes equal will work, sometimes like will be working. So it depends on what we are actually using here. It depends on the command here. Okay, so we have seen all those. We also seen what is the exact syntax as well. So that's all for today. So being said that, thanks for all your time, and let's see you tomorrow in the upcoming sessions. Let's rock and roll.